right, so you need your perimeter 3-ways study sheet. We have learned 3 different ways to find perimeter this week. So we're going to fill out part of the study sheet, and then of course the rest is for homework because you have a quiz tomorrow on all the different ways we found perimeter. So let's get started. The first thing we did on Monday was we learned the perimeter of irregular shapes. What does that mean? It means that no sides are the same. They are called irregular shapes. To find the perimeter, we need to add all the sides. So that was the first way we learned perimeter, and you've got 2 examples. We're going to do one today, then you're going to do the other one at home for homework, and we'll correct it tomorrow. So, P equals. Let's start with the bottom. 8.7 plus 5 plus 6.9 plus 2.5 plus 3 plus 4.1 plus 3. So that's all of them. I went counterclockwise. 8.7 plus 5 plus 6.9 plus 2.5 plus 3 plus 4.1 plus 3. So I'm going to add them all up together to find out what the perimeter is. So the first thing I want to do is put decimals where there's no decimals. When you're adding, you line up the decimals. So this one has one, this one doesn't. This one has one, this one has one, this one doesn't. This one has one, this one doesn't. Now they all have decimals. So, good old outside calculation, 8.7, 5.0, 6.9, 2.5, 3.0, 4.1, and 3.0. So when you're adding, you've got to line up those decimals so that all the place values are together. All right, so then we just go ahead and add. 7 plus nothing is 7. 7 plus 9 is 16. 16 plus 5 is 21. 21 plus 1 is 22. Carry your 2. 8 plus 2 is 10. Plus 5 is 15. Plus 6 is 21. Plus 2 is 23. Plus 3 is 26. Plus 4 is 30. Plus 3 is 33. So the total is 33.2. So you go back to your perimeter equals 33.2. And don't forget your unit of measurement, in this case, meters. So that's how we do. When it's an irregular shape, you add up the sides. Feel free to pause the video if you need to make sure everything is written down. So let's move to, so example number 2, you need to do that tonight for homework. Turn the page, we're on this side now. So the second way that we learned how to find perimeter was when all the sides are the same. These are called regular polygons. And to find the perimeter for these, we use a formula. Now, remember, rectangles have their own formula because technically not all their sides are the same. So the formula for rectangle P equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So you got to figure out which one's the L and which one's the W. L for length. Looks like it's this one. That's longer than this one. So there's the L, there's the W. So I replace the letters with how much they are from my diagram. 2 times 28.9 plus 2 times 5.7. And then I can start doing my outside calculations. So I'm adding. No, I'm not. I'm multiplying. 28.9 times 2. 2 times 9 is 18, carry your 1. 2 times 8 is 16, plus the one that I carried, 17, carry your 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus the one that I carried is 5. 1 decimal spot, 1 decimal spot. Then you do the other one. 5.7 times 2. 2 times 7 is 14, carry your 1. 2 times 5 is 10, plus the one that I carried is 11. 1 decimal spot, 1 decimal spot. So I go back, P equals 57.8 plus 11.4. So I do the multiply first, just like BEDMAS told me. And now I do the adding. 57.8 plus 11.4. I'm adding now, so I do line up the decimals. 4 plus 8 is 12, carry your 1. 7 plus 1 is 8, plus the one that you carry is 9. 5 plus 1 is 6. So 69.2. And don't forget your unit of measurement, centimeters. So that's example 1 for rectangles. What you need to do is you need to do example number 2 tonight as your homework, and we'll correct it tomorrow. Don't forget, it's a rectangle, so you gotta use the right formula. All right, turn the page. Let's talk about all the other polygons. All the other polygons, we use P equals M times S. And that's because it's not a rectangle. It's a polygon where all the sides really are the same. So the N is the number of sides. The S is how much is each side measure. In this case, I've got 3 sides, and each side measures 4.3. So P equals 3 sides times 4.3. I go over to my outside calculations, and 4.3 times 3. Remember, when you're multiplying, you put the one on the top that has more digits. It's easier for you. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 1 decimal spot, 1 decimal spot. P equals 12.9, unit of measurement, centimeters. All right, so we'll do example number 2, and then example number 3 will be for you to do tonight as your homework to practice for your quiz tomorrow. So there's example number 2. I'm going to use the same formula. It's a regular polygon, so P equals N times S. Now, N is the number of sides. So I look and I count 1, 2, 3, 4. This has 4 sides. How much is each side? 18. Go over to my outside calculations. Take my 18, multiply it by 4. 4 times 8 is 32. Carry your 3. 4 times 1 is 4, plus the 3 that I carried is 7. No decimal spots, no decimal spots. Perimeter is 72 unit of measurement centimeters. So your homework is you're going to do example number 3. You want to make sure you practice for your quiz tomorrow. All right, turn the page. Now we're going to work on circles. The perimeter of a circle is called circumference. Because remember, a circle doesn't have any sides. The diameter of a circle goes from edge to edge. Pi is a number with a symbol, and it is always 3.14. So let's do example number 1 together. Example number 1. The diameter goes from edge to edge, so this one's fine. D is 4.7. So circumference equals pi times d. Circumference equals 3.14 times 4.7. I take those numbers and I do an outside calculation. 3.14 on top times 4.7 on the bottom. It doesn't matter, remember, you want the one with the longer number on the top. So 7 times 4 is 28. Carry the 2. 7 times 1 is 7, plus the 2 is 9. 7 times 3 is 21. Put your X, move to the 4. 4 times 4 is 16, carry your 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12. Add up your number lines. So 8 plus nothing, 8. 9 plus 6, 15. Carry your 1. 5 plus 1 is 6, plus the 1 that you carried is 7. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus nothing is 1. And I have 1, 2, 3 decimal spots. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 decimal spots. Circumference equals 14.758 centimeters. Don't forget that unit of measurement, it's important. So you're going to need to do example number 2 yourself tonight. There's the diameters, it's all good. And then we'll correct that tomorrow. So turn the page. Radius is from the middle of the circle to one edge. To find the diameter, multiply the radius by 2. So you have to, if you only get the radius, you have to times it by 2 to find the diameter before you can go ahead and do your circumference. So let's do example number 1. The first thing I need to do, I have a radius, so I have to times it by 2. The radius here is 7.1 times by 2 to get the diameter. So 7.1 times 2. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 7 is 14. 1 decimal spot, 1 decimal spot. So it's 14.2 is the diameter. Okay, so now that I have the diameter, I can do my circumference, pi times d. D. Circumference 3.14 times 14.2. So now I do an outside calculation. So you take your 3.14 and your 14.2. This time it doesn't matter which one you put on top and which one you put on the bottom because they both have 3 digits. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. Put your x, move to the 4. 4 times 4 is 16, carry your 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 5, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 3 is 12, put 2 x's and move to the 1. 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 3 is 3. So I'm going to add up all 3 of my answer lines together. 8 plus nothing is 8. 2 plus 6 is 8. 6 plus 5 is 11. Plus 4 is 15. Carry your 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. Plus the 1 that you carried is 4. 3 plus 1 is 4. And I have 1, 2, 3 decimal spots. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3 decimal spots. So my circumference is 44.588 centimeters. So exactly like this one is example 2, which you're going to do tonight. You're going to need to find the diameter first and then do your circumference. All right, turn to the very last page and let's do our chart. In a regular shape, how do you find the perimeter? Add all the sides together. For a rectangle, how do you find the perimeter? You use a formula, P equals 2L plus 2W. For a regular polygon, how do you find the perimeter? You use a formula, P equals N times S. For a circle, how do you find the perimeter? We call it a circumference. C equals pi times D. And finally, for the diameter, how do you find it if you're only given the radius? Diameter equals 2 times R. However much the radius is times 2 will get you that diameter. If you have questions, ask for help. You need to fold this up, put it in your pocket, take it home, bring it back tomorrow. You get extra marks if you bring it back. We're going to correct it tomorrow before your quiz, give you an extra chance for review. And then, for the rest of math today, you need to go back in your folder and look through pages that we haven't answered yet. So take a look. Maybe you finished page 1 and 2, but you didn't get to page 4 and 5. So look through your folder and see which pages you didn't finish. See if you can find examples in the folder to practice all of these things. So practice adding the sides for an irregular shape, practice rectangles, practice regular polygons, practice circles. You want to practice all the different ways that we found perimeter this week so that you're ready for your quiz tomorrow.